How would you react if you discovered that crucial evidence was omitted from the official report of a significant historical event? Today, we delve into the findings of the January 6th committee. The recent revelations bring to light the testimonies of Kash Patel and others from the White House, which were conspicuously absent from the official report. These testimonies paint a vivid picture of the days leading up to the turbulent January 6th. Under the looming shadow of potential disruptions from the left, President Trump made a call for 10,000 troops to be deployed on the streets. His intent was to safeguard the citizens who were coming forth for the rallies. However, his requests fell on deaf ears. The authorities not only refused to act upon his requests, but also conveniently left out this crucial information from the official report. This omission raises several questions. Why was this request ignored? Who were the ones responsible for this glaring oversight? And most importantly, why was it deliberately kept away from the public eye? As we see, important pieces of information were knowingly kept away from the public view. But why? In a strikingly similar move to the FBI's FISA court incident, the January 6th committee appears to have followed the same playbook. Let's understand more about this. You may recall the FBI's actions during the FISA court incident, a case that saw the agency accused of withholding exculpatory evidence, a serious breach of protocol. The target? Donald J. Trump. The goal? To foster the narrative of Russia, Russia, Russia. The January 6th committee, it seems, has taken a leaf out of the FBI's book. Evidence that President Trump had called for 10,000 troops on the streets, a precautionary measure to prevent any potential violence, was conveniently left out of the official report. This omission paints a very different picture of the events leading up to that fateful day, doesn't it? And the fallout has been significant. Over 1,500 individuals have been arrested, many of them unsuspecting Trump supporters. The FBI has been accused of setting up the scenario, with around 200 of their agents allegedly present in the crowd that day. These are serious allegations, suggesting that those who trustingly walked into the Capitol building were, in fact, walking into a trap. The tactics employed by the FBI seem to have found their way into the workings of the January 6th committee. But what about the actual day of the event? January 6, 2021, was a day marked by chaos and confusion. But what if the chaos was not just spontaneous? Let's delve into the events of that day. The crowd was not just made up of protesters. There were around 200 undercover agents present, blending in, creating a volatile mix. As the crowd swelled, so did the tension. But there's an often overlooked detail here. President Trump had anticipated trouble. He had requested 10,000 National Guardsmen and women to be on standby to maintain peace. But his request fell on deaf ears. His foresight, it seems, was ignored, swept under the rug, and the consequences were grave. Now, let's talk about the real Trump supporters. Many of them were led into the Capitol building, unsuspecting, caught up in the tide of the moment. They were directed into the building, the barricades moved aside. They were even invited to sit down, to kick their feet up in the offices of the nation's leaders. They trusted the police, they trusted the system. But that trust was exploited. And in the aftermath, they found themselves painted as the villains, caught in a narrative not of their choosing. They became the scapegoats, while the real instigators melted into the background, their roles conveniently overlooked. The events of January 6th were not as straightforward as they seemed. As we peel back the layers, a different picture emerges. The aftermath of January 6th left a nation in shock and disbelief. But the revelations we've discussed today add a new perspective. We've unearthed hidden testimonies showing that requests for troops were made and ignored, implying foreknowledge of potential unrest. We've drawn parallels between the FBI's previous actions and the circumstances of this event, highlighting a potential pattern of withholding key information and manipulating narratives. We've spotlighted the chaos of the day itself, suggesting it may have been orchestrated rather than spontaneous. Each revelation raises serious questions about the integrity of our institutions and the narratives they promote. These discoveries underscore the need for transparency and accountability in our political processes. They reveal a troubling pattern of deception and manipulation that goes beyond party lines. They challenge us to question the narratives we're presented with, to seek out hidden truths, and to demand accountability from those in power. As we grapple with these revelations, one question remains. What does this mean for the future of our political landscape?